Meditation does not stop the mind. If you ever are told that, meditation is something which will stop your mind or prevent you from doing, all sorts of mental activities, see, those people are either bozos or they don't know how to express things in words. See, the point about meditation, what meditation ultimately means is that you start being less of a human doing and you become more of a human being. It doesn't mean that you will become fully a human being, because ultimately you have a physical body, you can't live outside of it. Okay, you're gonna be at most, say, 99% spiritual, but you also have to stay in the body, because if not, you become fully spiritual, you simply leave your body, and that's basically death. How you leave the body, well, that's part of another video, another time, because that can influence greatly and will always influence greatly how you will start your next life, but that's not important for now. See, meditation is an act in which you simply distance yourself from the mind. See, the mind is masculine energy, be that feminists and modern women and whoever else may disregard this idea. It is to their detriment, not to the detriment of us humans, because men will always be the creators, designers, furnishers, and literally they will always create and crumble. Throughout history, it is men that have led to the creation of, literally all societies. At the same time, they have led to their crumbling, because that is male energy. Male energy is basically exactly like the mind. It always creates, but it doesn't have necessarily a direction. What it needs is feminine energy, which has a sense of direction. What every man would need in their life is a wise woman who knows how to make use of her wisdom, probably her grace as well, in order to guide them to do something better. Because humans forget one thing. In this world, you have people, right? You have the two genders that have to coexist. Men will always be creators, they will be designers, they will literally do all the hard work, because this is how nature functions. You don't have to believe me, just look around and see that this also goes, with few exceptions, to all the other animal species. Because if you don't know something, just look in nature, because we are still part of nature. Right? We are still animals, it's just that we feel entitled to names and ultimately meaning, which, well, basically has no meaning other than us. Because, see, in life, I don't want to make too many, branching offs, but the point is, in life, see, the mind that you have will constantly create. It simply creates based on all the data that you have been feeding it. Only that. Whatever you put into your mind, it will create and recycle those ideas on and on again. Similarly, men are exactly like that. They will build, they will create, they will destroy, they will crumble, they will conquer. That is masculine energy. If people don't feel good about this, well, perhaps the problem is somewhere else, because natural things are there to stay. If you disregard them, nature will crush you one day or another, and it's definitely not going to be pleasant. So, there is a quote that says, "The hand that rocks the cradle decides the future of the country." See, a woman's worth in society is dictated by the quality of the children that she bears and she brings in society, because in society you have to understand your child is not yours. Yeah, sure, you have performed intercourse, which, allows nature to conceive the child within the mother's womb, but ultimately the child belongs to the society, because the mother and the father, sooner or later, they will perish, and the children will remain the future generations. And children are exactly at the beginning, they are just like masculine energy. They just create and create based on what you put into their minds. That is why women are extremely important in society, because look at our history, right? Parents and people have been kept in ignorance. They have never known how to raise their children correctly. And as I've been saying, women will always have a sense of guidance over men. I'm not saying women are superior, so they don't take things out of my concept, nor are men superior to women. Both are equally important in any society. Because as I've said, men can create, but a woman also is needed because they need a certain sense of direction, right? Don't forget that many wise kings, they were very good kings, but they knew that they wouldn't be as much without their mother, obviously, and their wife, which in some cases, some kings were very lucky, both of them to be wise, and they would actually listen to them in councils, right? History may not tell you this because history is only interested in telling you certain facts. But you can't have a king without having a queen as well, and you can't have a queen without having a king, right? If any of the two are lacking, there's gonna be some troubles. So the point about, this is women, how they teach their children, how they treat their children, they can make even greater monsters, or they can turn life into a greater possibility. Because, for example, if your father is abusive, they can do all sorts of things to you. You more or less will pass through them with not much of a regret, not much of a problem, right? If you're wise enough. If not, well, you'll crumble to the pains and you'll repeat those as if it is the only thing that is important to you. But the greatest influence on you is your mother. I always tell people that your mother is the first witch that you find in life, because just like any wizard, with only a few words, she can turn your life into a misery by pulling you down and calling you names and judging and over-judging, or she can turn your life into a far greater potential that you initially are, right? If you don't believe me about this, please read Thomas Edison's story about how his mother refused to call him a failure just like school did, and he only found out that like dozens of years later into the future, when he found after his mother died, he found the letter that the principal of the school gave to him, and it was not what his mother said. His mother told him that he was too good for the school, and the school wanted to him to be taken by his family and to be educated somewhere else because he was too good, and the school didn't have the means to teach him such. That's what their mother said when she started crying, because the truth was he was quite different from the others. He wouldn't fit in, he didn't want to fit in, so he was expelled because of that, and well, he was somewhat problematic as well, as history says. But his mother simply refused to turn him into a misery, and thanks to that, well, he ended up creating all the beautiful inventions that today we take for granted. But honestly, that was a huge step for humanity, right? The men, just like in society, the men did all the hard work, right? Because in society, in most situations, you'll see men are the builders, men are the plumbers, men will handle most of the hard work. Is it 100% them? Not necessarily. I'm not saying that women aren't fit for that, but any normal man will always seek to make society in such a way where women can live much less polluted and much less challenged by the difficult work, so that they can focus on staying calm, having a pure body like a temple, so that they can invite in their womb a higher possibility of life, instead of working in toxic environments where they become toxic as well, and they will bring forth more primitive versions of children who will become worse monsters than them, right? So the point is, did the man create all the inventions? Yes. But also don't forget that woman also has to be credited in this, because it is a great thing that the woman didn't fall for that like most other mothers would have and punish the child and turn them into a greater misery, right? They simply chose to tell them that, they did a lie, but it changed their life and it turned them into a greater possibility, right? Similarly to this, right? All of these thoughts that you have in your mind, they are thoughts that are constantly being recycled by the mind, right? So getting back into the idea of meditation. Meditation means that you simply, you never ever can shut down the mind. It is never capable of being shut down unless you die. That is the only truth. There is no other interpretation about that. The very simple point about that, about meditation, is that when you do, you simply become more and more distant from what the mind recycles and enter a state in which you finally start realizing that what the mind has is basically things that you've seen and things that you've heard. The meaning is all in your head, right? This being said, hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, and this being said, Ferencsan Bohort signing out.